Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life. So here I have an article for you guys from Mike over at Light Reading. I'll leave a link to it in the description so you guys can check it out. So I wanted to tackle this article because I think this is going to, start being blown out of proportion and taken out of context. Although I do think this article is very poorly titled, and maybe it was misunderstood what Joe Russo said at the conference. So I listened in on the conference, and I wanted to clarify this for my audience. So the title states, Verizon's new network chief cool towards small cells. So I wanted to elaborate on that and also bring in some history from Verizon as well. So for those of you who have been on the channel for a few years now, Verizon, and I want to clarify this to anybody that's new on the channel, Verizon has had, and this was during LTE, very, towards the middle of LTE when data became heavy, applications started coming out. Verizon had the lowest spectrum position per customer. Verizon has had the largest amount of postpaid customer base out of any carrier for a long time now. And just calculating that against their AWS position, PCS position, low band position, they had the lowest amount of spectrum per customer. So what did Verizon have to do to offset in 2014, 15, 16, 17? They had to densify. They've already been densifying the network for years now, and they've densified the network to AWS. So they've been adding macros. They've been adding thousands of small cells over the years. And in fact, that ramped up again when they started deploying the millimeter wave. They added even more small cell poles across the network. So what Joe Russo is saying, and what he said in this conference, he's saying today, as it stands right now, there is no need for him to further densify the network beyond what it is today. He doesn't have a need to announce another plan to deploy 30, 40,000 small cells into the network. It's just not needed. Are they still going to deploy small cells as needed? Of course. If, a certain neighborhood in your town needs 5 small cells, they will still deploy that. But that doesn't really change the degree of their densification on a large scale. So they are not going to announce a big plan of densification beyond what it is today. The main focus and priority for Verizon today and in 2024 and in 2025 is getting C-band mods on these towers. They need to upgrade them as quickly as possible. That's the biggest priority right now. And as well, let's not forget the already existing small cells at some point will also need to be upgraded as well to C-band. So that's going to happen as well. So if you add all of that together, that's going to bring massive amounts of capacity into the network. The only thing that's really stopping Verizon or has stopped Verizon here is that they started late. If Verizon would have had the same time, the same amount of timeline as T-Mobile, 2020, we start C-band. I mean, it would be at a far greater scale today. But, where they are today is already great. They're at 230 million pops with C-band today. He clearly stated they're going to crush the 250 million pops. So by the end of Q1, which is 3 months, right? The end of March, I fully expect them to be at 250 plus. And at the end of the year, right? Again, I'm thinking about this very, very mathematically, right? I'm looking at T-Mobile and their scale and how they got there. I look at Verizon's CapEx and their scale and how quickly they're moving. It took T-Mobile, and I said this in the previous video, but I'll say it again. Over the 2-year period that T-Mobile deployed Rule, when they got to 200 million, in that first year to get to 250, it took them a whole year to deploy 50 million pops. And in that second year, it took T-Mobile, again, another 50 million pops to get to 300 in a single year. Verizon is currently spending more and deploying faster. So it's very possible, again, and I said that in that video, and I'll say it again, I might be reaching, but it's very possible that Verizon can push 290, 295 million by the end of the year. And then very quickly in Q1 of 2025, they closed the 300 million pop gap to T-Mobile. So realistically, and he also stated in this conference, they can maybe further accelerate. And what he means by that is, right, CapEx is coming down. We understand that very clearly. But also the spend for one fiber is no longer needed. So he says he's reallocating some of those funds into wireless. What happens at that point? It accelerates. So they have every tool in the tool shed available right now to go and really deploy this at a scale and at a pace that's unprecedented. If they can deploy 60 million pops in a single year, which I think they are more than capable of doing, maybe even 65, that would beat T-Mobile's pace and would be unprecedented. So again, I just wanted to bring some clarity to this title and what I've seen already on Twitter today, or on X, formerly known as Twitter. Just wanted to bring some clarity to it. He's not stopping the small cell build altogether. It's not all of a sudden just going to stop. No, he's bringing priority to the macros, which I fully agree with. And there's nothing that anyone can tell me to have me think otherwise. They need to get the C-band on the sites. He said he wants to deploy C-band in all 406 PEAs where it's available. So that's a really massively large scale. And once you get to more of those rural PEAs, the C-band goes to 200 megahertz total, contiguous, right? It's A block, B block, 100 megahertz each. It's very, very good to have that type of capacity. So just wanted to clarify that today. I'll make a separate video touching on some other points that he discussed during this conference. Didn't want to make this video too long. So leave all your thoughts in the comments. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, follow the social media outlets. This is Tyrone with Tech Life, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.